Welcome everyone to case studies in dynamic commission payment, or on this slide, it's case studies in attribution. It just fit a little bit better. We're going to look at 4 case studies today on how top brands are using attribution to create actionable and dynamic affiliate referral programs. My name is Chad Waite. I am the marketing manager for AvantLink.com, no doubt a network that I'm sure most of you have heard of. If you have any questions on anything we cover today, see Waite at AvantLink.com, or you can reach me on Twitter down here at the bottom at ChadW8. So we're going to talk fast. We're going to cover a lot of data in a short amount of time. So if you have any questions on anything, come talk to me after. Just as kind of a quick little disclaimer, we are hosting a networking suite, 4548. If you have any questions after this that aren't clarified, you're welcome to come up and chat with us at any time. Let's jump right into things. What are you going to learn in the next 17, 18 minutes? First and foremost, we want to take a look at what is attribution. As a definition, what is attribution, not only in the e-commerce space, but how does it apply to the affiliate channel specifically, and what do you do with that? There's no better way to figure out what do you do with it than by looking at how other top merchants are actually using it in their programs to build bigger, better affiliate programs. Attribution. Everybody's heard it. It's the buzzword du jour right now, right? It's what mobile was 3 years ago, right? Everybody's saying it, but maybe not everybody understands it. Attribution isn't just a marketing channel clickstream data. It's not just assigning arbitrary values or percentages to the type of marketing channel that had an impact on making a customer conversion. If you're not familiar with the typical attribution, generally what it'll do is it'll show a customer at the very first touch point with them, so Joe Schmo right here, all the way up until the time that they're conversion, right? And in that clickstream process, in the time that it took to convert that person, what marketing channels actually hit that person to turn them into a conversion? Well, that's all fine and well, but that could involve email, it could involve PPC, it will likely involve affiliate many of the times. And that's fine. That definition is really the broadly accepted definition of attribution. But the bigger question is, what does that mean to the affiliate channel? Specifically, if there were multiple affiliate referrals. That's what we're concerned about. We don't care what the CPC budget is. If you're managing the affiliate side, who cares what the CPC side is? It may be helpful to know, but you don't set that budget. That's a CMO's job. That's not the job of the person managing the program. So what does attribution actually mean to those who are managing the program? So we're going to find out. We're going to look at 4 case studies. All of these case studies are sourced from AvantLink's attribution platform called AvantMetrics. AvantMetrics gives you the clickstream activity, as well as the ability to apply automated and actionable business rules based on the content. And that yields some interesting situations and scenarios for those who are using it. We're going to look at a couple of those. Before we do, though, a couple problems and a couple definitions before we dive into the data. The first question is, what problem does this solve? By and large, as a network, our data shows that about 1 in 6 affiliate sales have multiple affiliate referrals. It's a big number. That's about 17%. 17% of affiliate sales are having somebody get their cookie overridden by somebody else. It's an issue. Attribution, ideally then, should take that information and say, hey, we should divide up commission payments for all affiliates involved in the clickstream and divide up the commissions based on a couple things. First off, when the actual referral happens, how many affiliate referrals there were in the clickstream, and then the perceived impact of that based on what the merchant sees in the data. So, just for kind of a preface here, in the case studies, we're going to be looking at 3 different referral groups that affiliate referrals can be classified into. You've got introducer referrals. Introducer referrals are the first time that a customer visits a brand site, and that referral is done through an affiliate link. Influencer referrals by affiliates. These are referrals that are made after the first visit, but well before the checkout process has started. So anything in between. Affiliate referrals that help the customer learn more about a product, or find maybe the best price on it, or really drive them to actually hit that checkout process and start the conversion. And then finally, checkout influencers. These are affiliate referrals that have come in after the checkout process has started. And a lot of you are probably thinking, that's coupon sites, but it all comes in many different forms. So there's a lot of affiliates that fall into introducers, influencers, and checkout influencers. I hope you've all got this locked down because we're going to be addressing this quite a while. If you have any questions, let me know after. So the idea is based on where these referrals come into the clickstream, you assign a portion of the overall commission payout that you would be normally giving to just one affiliate to each group. You split the payout dynamically. Makes sense, right? So with that preface in mind, let's go ahead and dive into our first case study. Check how much time I have left here. Perfect. First one, we're looking at a client called Rock Creek. They're a mid-level outdoor gear retailer. And at the time of putting this together, they had been using attribution for about 8 months. The problem was pretty simple, right? The problem was that they wanted a more dynamic payout structure that accounted for all activity from affiliates. They worked very hard to have a very broad base of affiliates. That was, content sites, bloggers, maybe review sites, and then of course the deal or the coupon sites at the end. They had a very, very good mixture, very fine balance of those affiliates in their portfolio. The problem was that they weren't seeing a lot of sales come from certain affiliates that they thought that they were trying to optimize. AvantMetrics or attribution in general was used to process the data from individual sales and award affiliate activity appropriately. Now, this is a fundamental understanding of what attribution will actually mean to the affiliate industry. This represents a paradigm shift. This isn't a global setting, right? This isn't, this group of affiliates, I'm going to dock down to this percentage, or I'm going to, give them a shorter cookie length, or whatever it may be. This is actually assigning value on referrals based on individual sales cycle. It's hyper granular. It's not a global solution for your program. Their data actually showed that 10% of affiliate sales had multiple affiliates involved. That's actually less than the network average, but to them, last click wins was not an optimal model anymore. It's a payout structure that's 2 decades old. They didn't want to do that. They wanted to make sure everybody who was sending them traffic got a piece of the pie. So here's where we get into the referral groups again. Based on the data that they saw, Rock Creek was able to assign certain splits for different groups of affiliates based on where they were at in the clickstream. So just as a refresher, you had introducer affiliate referrals, influencer referrals, and then lastly, checkout influencers. Now, if all 3 groups were involved, here's how Rock Creek split it. They said, checkout influencers are going to get 20% of the commission. An influencer in that will get 30% of the commission. And we find that introducers are generally the most valuable referral. Maybe they have a higher AOV, maybe they convert better. We're going to give them the dynamic. And this is important because in this case, they would get 50%. But let's say there was only an introducer and an influencer. That means the introducer would get 70%. So pretty simple. It makes it a dynamic situation where you can alter payouts based on how many and when how many referrals there were and when those actually occurred. So they implemented attribution, and what happened? Well, of course, sales with multiple referrals were given dynamic payouts, and this was a huge win for their affiliate base that typically came in early and midstream in the clickstream. It involved them, it kept them going, and a side effect of this was it commanded this hyper loyalty from these consumers, or from these affiliates. These affiliates can now say, hey, I'm making more with this program because I'm actually being included in this sale as opposed to having my cookie overwritten every single time. It's a big shift in paradigm there. And the affiliates were, when it comes to working with Rock Creek or one of their competitors, who are they going to choose? The one that they're going to make more money with, Rock Creek. Let's take a look at number 2. We don't have permission to use this brand's name, but we do have their permission to use their data. A very large clothing retailer. I'm sure that maybe at least one of you is at least wearing a piece of their clothing in here. They've been using attribution for about 10 months at the time of putting this together. And their problem was a little bit different. Outside of also wanting to create a dynamic payment system, they were considering the idea of just giving the axe to every single coupon site that they worked with. Wholesale, right? They had these assumptions that coupon sites were having a specific impact on their program, maybe not providing a lot of incremental value, maybe they're coming in all the time at the very end during the last click. Those were assumptions. They didn't have any major data to back it up. So attribution was used to determine the actual referral value of each and every one of those referrals based on a granular sales cycle, and then use that data to award commissions accordingly. The data showed that many coupon sites made referrals at all different points of the click stream, and not just during the checkout phase. This was a huge surprise to them. They were hell-bent on saying that, yes, they're only making referrals during the checkout phase in the last 10 seconds before the customer buys. And the data actually showed that that's not the case at all. That a lot of times, 1 out of every 10 sales for this affiliate would be an introducer, and maybe 3 out of those 10 sales would be an influencer, and then the other ones would fall into what they typically thought would happen as a checkout influencer. It was a huge shift in how they actually looked at their partnerships, and so much so that they actually decided to build up their commission split to this. Checkout influencers, 10%. So instead of giving them the axe entirely, if they did fall into that and there was another affiliate referral, they would get 10%. The other affiliate would either get 40% or the dynamic if all 3 were involved. So the introducer was left as the dynamic payout this time, and in this case it would have been 50%. So that's how they structured their commission payout. What was the result of this? They built a program that included payouts to everyone involved based on the value of the referral. They saved the relationship with many, many coupon and deal sites out there, and 2 things happened. First off, the coupon sites were really relieved, right? They had a chance to say, okay, hold on. Like, we want to make something instead of us getting the axe entirely or being reduced to some, ridiculous arbitrary commission amount like 0.01% or something. But then they also had a really unique advantage to show this particular merchant that they had the ability to provide incremental value in different ways too. We don't want to be pigeonholed in this, we're the very end of the sales cycle. Like, we are able to, expose your brand to new clients. We're able to do it in different ways than just, having a SERP result out there. And this isn't us as a network advocating for or against coupon sites. It's just us saying, hey, before you take any, action on your relationships with existing coupon sites, make sure that you're doing it based on real data, and not just assumptions that are hearsay or kind of the popular trend in the industry. Because, you know what? You may find something that surprises you. Case study number 3, again, we weren't allowed to use the name, but we were given permission to use their data. They had only been using attribution for 2 months at this point. The problem was that they needed data to show the value of the affiliate channel versus other online marketing channels that they were paying for. And then, of course, probably I'll guess, make dynamic payouts for multiple affiliate referrals. So attribution was used to track the impact of all marketing channels on individual customer sales and then create a dynamic payout system. So the result? Well, the results showed that paid channels were occurring again and again and again and again for individual sales. So they were paying multiple times for individual occurrences of paid channels like PPC versus one singular commission payout for multiple affiliate referrals in a single sales cycle. So those in the back, you're probably not going to be able to see this, but those towards the front, this is actually a screenshot of some of the raw data, the step-by-step on the actual clickstream data for a specific sale. You'll see down here there's a couple, actually 3 to be exact, affiliate referrals, followed by 4 occurrences of Google AdWords. Depends on how much the sale was, but if you're being charged $4 a click per CPC occurrence, that's $16 to convert that customer right there. It's a lot of money. Where on the other hand, that's a predictable cost, right? It's X percentage to all 3 of those referrals. It's one singular cost. Here's another one, just for kicks and giggles. And this is another nice side note for attribution. You are able to get insight into all sales and the marketing channels that impact it, rather than just those that have affiliate sales. So this is one that had, count them, 10 Google AdWord occurrences. And the funny thing about this is the sale ended up being like $18.50, right? So they probably just spent 2 to 3 times as much in CPC as they did in the actual sale item, let alone revenue from that. So here's how they did this. They looked at the data. They thought, okay, we're going to do a pretty even split here. For checkout influencers, we're going to do 25% influencers, 25% leave the introducers the dynamic, so they'll get 50 if all 3 referral groups were involved. And the result? Well, of course, it showed that the program had extremely high value and that the CPC team internally was in trouble and had to justify a lot of what they were doing. They were also able to pay a singular commission amount to all affiliates that were involved in a singular sales cycle. It's a big, big win for their affiliates. And it also justified the existence of having an affiliate program. Yeah, you get just as much exposure from these affiliates, and it's costing you 1/10 of what you paid for your CPC. Okay, let's look at the final one. Check my time real quick. AvantMetrics case study number 4, Horizon Fitness. They are a manufacturer of treadmills, ellipticals, exercise equipment, and the like. At this time, when I put together the data, they'd been using attributions for just a little over a year. Nearly all sales, this is the problem, were coming in from coupon sites despite a very, very core focus on building a base of content-driven sites. So review sites, fitness bloggers, and this is where they were spending the majority of their time. They worked with a few coupon sites as key partners, but they noticed that most of the sales were coming from these key partners despite most of their recruitment efforts coming in the form of content-related blogs, forums, whatever it may be. So purpose of attribution, focus on inclusion of all referrals, right? Dynamic payouts again. And then they had kind of an interesting side request. They wanted to see data to track referral behavior from these specific affiliates. Specifically, how it corresponded to things like changes in product bases or seasons. So they were getting into something bigger that attribution can provide, and that's larger big data business intelligence. So they had an issue, though. Their sales at certain times were almost 20% with multiple referrals. So they were dealing with a higher than average number. And here's how they split their commissions. They just decided to split it almost evenly, where the checkout influencer got 33%, influencer got 33%, and the introducer was the dynamic. In this case, that's 34%. Here's also another interesting graph. They analyzed all of their data, all of their commission payouts, and said pre-attribution, for every $1 that's spent in commission, 78 cents of it, about 78 cents, they're paying out to coupon sites. And only about 15 cents of it is going to the content sites that they're so, they were putting so much effort in to try to build relationships with. Post-attribution. Here's how this changed. On that same dollar, about 40 cents was going to coupon sites, and 44 cents went to content sites. It's a big shift. With their key partners, the content partners at least, that they were trying to involve in this, they just tripled their revenue with the simple addition of a little bit of software. Imagine how loyal the content affiliates are. Very happy. The coupon affiliates too, the alternative for them was they were seriously considering giving them the axe, cutting all relationship with coupon sites too. They didn't want to do that because they had some great relationships, but they wanted to balance out those relationships. And I don't know about you, but that looks a little lopsided to me. That looks far more balanced. I go back to the referral behavior. So you see this vertical line right here. This white vertical line represents when Horizon Fitness completely redid their product base. So it was just in time for Christmas, and in 2014, they pulled out all of their existing product line, put in brand new treadmills, ellipticals, saved for like 2 models. So it's a pretty big refresh. What they found was that the referral groups, people who are doing the reviews, people who are actually talking about the products out there and content, skyrocketed. And they also found that it became something where the affiliate referrals validated the claims that they were making on their site. So if they were saying, this is the best treadmill in the world, right? This is the most cutting edge treadmill, this is the best treadmill in the world, you should buy this treadmill right now. Now the review sites were saying, yeah, they're not lying, right? This is a good treadmill, or maybe this elliptical is okay, or whatever it was that they were saying about it, these review sites were able to make that extra impact and provide those sales, and provide that intent that the user needed to actually make the purchase and turn into a conversion. Of course, this graph flows up and down, and this will eventually ebb and flow. And the next product cycle or the next season that they have, that something changes, they'll be able to track that referral behavior and optimize things like their communication or their ad campaigns for those affiliates who are making those influencer referrals. You know what? That's an optimized program using very real, very granular data. So the result. Of course, they dynamically shifted commission payouts to keep content affiliates rewarded for valid referrals. They built hyper loyalty. I know I've said that before, but hyper loyalty with these sites. Coupon and content sites. I don't want attribution to come off as like the harbinger of doom for coupon sites or something, but it's better than getting the axe wholesale, right? There is value, and it gives coupon sites a very intrinsic chance to prove that value and to show that they can provide, a different way of promotion or converting those customers. But you know what? This was great for everyone involved. The content affiliates loved it too. So hyper loyalty. Their affiliates will always promote Horizon. So final thoughts on this. Looks like we have a couple minutes over, but that's okay. The future is going to bring demand from this from both the affiliate side and the merchant side. Data-driven dynamic programs are needed. Affiliates are going to get more in tune with the ability to keep, part of their commission in the overall payout pie, right? They want a chunk of that. They want a slice of that. Those merchants, those affiliates, those OPMs who understand this and demand it and figure out ways to use this to better grow their programs with the networks that they're partnered with are going to be very well positioned in the future. This is affiliate marketing 2.0. I'll make the prediction right now, 5 years, every network will be forced to offer this because affiliates are going to start demanding it. It's a big shift, but we're already seeing it. So those who can adopt this, those who can understand dynamic payouts, will be ahead of the game when it actually comes. So that's it, case studies and attribution. I hope this is helpful. Any questions you may have, we're happy to answer it right now for maybe the next 9 or 10 minutes. Once again, AvantLink does have a networking suite, number 4548. If you have any questions for us, you're welcome to come up there at any time and ask away. But right now, do we have any questions? I know that's a lot of data. Great question. If there's no one else in the clickstream, does the coupon site get 100% of the commission? Yes. So again, it depends entirely on how many referrals. So we were looking at those splits between 3 groups, but if you take away 2 of them or 1 of them, the commission dynamically changes to award the appropriate amount. So if it's a singular referral, yes, they'll still get 100%. It only affects those referrals with multiple affiliate referrals involved. No, because I mean, yes, but not those who use AvantMetrics. So a lot of merchants will say, oh, well, we only want to limit the coupon sites to making X%, right? Our standard commission rate's 10%, but we're only going to give this person 5, right? I mean, the standard deduction is not a good solution. That's a global solution. It doesn't actually take into account the real impact that a coupon site had on the sale, whether it was a checkout influencer referral or at the very beginning as an introducer. So with attribution in place, they tend to take a look at a more granular viewpoint here and say, if you were, an influencer, then great, you're going to get 100% of it if you're the only referral. If not, you're going to get the appropriate percentage that's awarded to you based on what we see, the impact of your referral type being. And like I said, I mean, there are so many coupon sites out there that get pigeonholed to being only, stilling somebody at the very end in the checkout process. No, there's a lot of really innovative sites out there that do a lot of really innovative ways to refer people way earlier in the funnel. And it's just before there's any decisions made, use real data. Use real data to make decisions. Don't go on assumptions. I mean, hey, how many times already at this conference have you probably heard somebody say like, oh, coupon sites are bad, or oh, content sites are the best, or whatever. You've probably heard it a million times, but that's hearsay. It's the paradigm du jour. Everybody loves to think that, but use real data. We're a marketing channel. We're an online marketing channel. There should be no shortage of data, and there should be no shortage of execution on that data. Make sure your attribution is actionable. So probably a longer answer than you're hoping for, but don't mean to get on my soapbox here. Any other questions? Yes? Sorry, say that one more time. It's a great question. So he asked, when does a checkout influencer period start? That gets a little technical. So by default, it is a 60-minute time period. So if somebody makes a referral after the checkout process has started, if that referral does not, or if that customer doesn't convert in a 60-minute time period, that referral will get bumped down to either an influencer or however the merchant really wants to handle it, right? But the merchant can also up that time frame. So if they say, hey, you're a checkout influencer, we see the average time to conversion from checkout influencer referrals are generally like, 2.5 hours, they can bump that time frame up to 180 minutes or 240 minutes, whatever they want it to be. Again, attribution should not be a one-size-fits-all. It should be made to completely be customized to the merchant and based on the data that they see. Horizon Fitness, I mean, their price points are $3,000, right? That's going to be a little bit different than the price point of my shoe, right? So during the checkout process, customers are probably going to have a little bit more consideration. It's probably going to be a longer duration, and so they're going to edit that accordingly. But yes, it's a 60-minute time frame for checkout influencers to be, initially qualified as a checkout influencer. Great question. Yes. Right, right. That is a great question. So the question was, do you get any affiliates that that are confused by this? There's a lot of data. It's kind of a new shift in the way of thinking about affiliate marketing, and the answer is yes. But the solution to the problem is complete transparency on the network end, right? If you have extraordinarily clear reporting on when a commission got divided, what influencer group they actually fell into, or what referral group, and then also lay out on the program description page for the merchant that has it, hey, we use a full attribution model here. Here's exactly what we happen. Here's exactly what you can expect. It's not really a problem at all. To answer your question a little bit more specifically, from a network perspective, we have not had a lot of pushback on this. In fact, a lot of affiliates have turned around and said, and including some coupon affiliates, they've turned around to their programs and said, hey, look, we need you to be working with a full-scale dynamic commission payout system, or else we're not going to work with you, right? Like, we want to get something rather than all of nothing. And if you don't do that, then we're not going to work with you. And that's why I'm saying, in 5 years' time, you're going to see the demand from this on the affiliate side and the merchant side. So it's been well received. It's definitely an uphill battle because it's a lot of data to be able to relay to people. So great question, though. Any others? Okay, cool. We'll wrap that up. If you do have any more questions, they've got a couple more minutes. I'll be up here. Again, AvantLink has a networking suite, 45, 48 top floor. Just take the long elevator right up to the top, and we'll look forward to seeing you there. Thanks so much.